we're at that point in prep now. I'm not even getting ready. Just in my dressing gown. I put a poll up on Instagram for the next YouTube video whether it was going to be me discussing why I got into bodybuilding or a hardcore leg session for the next video, and this is what a lot of you chose. So don't worry, the leg session video is coming soon, so that'll be next week's. But anyway, I'm going to get on to why I decided to do a bodybuilding show. So as of right now, I am 10 and a bit weeks out, and I'm fucking feeling it. This is my first time doing this. Now, if you've prepped before, if you've competed before, you're probably looking at me thinking I'm a fucking fanny. Or maybe it resonates a bit. But either way, this is probably one of the hardest things I've done in my life up to this point. I'm fatigued, I am tired, I am hungry. I'm having a refeed today, so that is helping. So a few more days of that and I reckon I'll be sound. But I wanted to get on to a very, very serious topic. Now, this isn't just, you know, the reasons why I decided to do bodybuilding. This is a lot more than that. I'm going to let on to a lot of things that I wasn't planning on talking about just yet, but I do think would be quite beneficial to speak on. So I'm a big advocate on mental health. Gone through it myself and not quite dealing with it in the way that, you know, you kind of should do. I've always had a bit more of a outgoing look on it. So instead of, you know, it's okay, like, see a therapist, do this, do that. I don't have the loving aspect around it. I've fucked that off because sympathy doesn't get you fucking anywhere. And if you're one to look for sympathy, you've come to the wrong place. Because what I genuinely believe to be the best medicine for someone who is suffering with mental health, whether it be anxiety, depression, the main ones that come to your mind as soon as mental health is brought up, I guarantee you a lot of the people haven't got a goal or are not working towards something. Because that is what changed my life. That is what made things clearer. That is what made things every day feel a little bit better. So I'm going to talk to you about why I actually decided that bodybuilding was going to be the thing that I wanted to pursue for the next year or so. So I'm going to take you back to 2020. So this was the end of lockdown, right? Or the first one. This is me at that point in time. I know, right? I was in the midst of swapping between what I was doing at the time, which was freestyle football. If you've seen it, cool. If you don't know a lot about it, I'll clue you in quickly. So what it was, or is, tricks with a football, right? So you see, you probably heard of the F2 freestyles if you grew up in a similar era to what I did. Essentially them, but better. The best example I can give you is I will show you a compilation of me doing some tricks. So you've got a rough idea of the kind of level we're talking. That's what freestyle football is, and I'd been hit with so many injuries doing that. I think the legs aren't supposed to be moving in that fashion. There's a lot of lads that are still doing it. Fair play to them, because in the next 20 years they're probably going to have hip replacements and knee replacements. But yeah, so that was my thing, and that was my first true taste of, you know, if you put some work into something, you get a lot out. I was doing that for about 5 years. I just fucking loved it, man. Like, I love the grind. It's the delayed gratification that freestyle taught me, man. Without that, I wouldn't have half the life lessons. I wouldn't have learned shit. It really did make me see that you can get something so extraordinary out of your efforts. You can see the fruits of your labour over time. And that's the most important thing. It's over time. It's not overnight. And this is where a lot of people go wrong these days. They'll try something for a few weeks and they'll just fuck it off because they don't see it working. You're not going to see it working because it's only been 2 fucking weeks. So I already had that kind of mindset going into the gym. So that was my starting point. So initially, you don't really know what you're doing. Of course you don't. With myself, I just wanted to find a new hobby, really. So I got into the gym, started going with a few people from work. You know, they showed me the ropes, you know, like this is how you bench, this is how you dumbbell press, this is how you row, this is how you, well, I didn't really do legs, I know. So I suppose it was nice to have some sort of an introduction into the gym via people showing me what to do. So if you're thinking about getting into the gym for yourself, 100% go with people that know what they're doing or have a rough idea to start out with. Otherwise you're going to get lost pretty quick. You know, you're going to hit a few brick walls and you don't really know how you're going to deal with them brick walls. You're going to go around them, you're going to go through them, you're going to go over it. You know, training with someone when you first start kind of mitigates that a bit. It gives you a rough idea of what the crack is and what you need to be doing. So a few months in, you know, you start putting a bit of weight on because it's newbie gains and it's fun, it's cool. You start realising, hang on a minute, the more I'm eating, the bigger I'm getting. And thinking and saying that now is just so obvious, but then it wasn't. I was eating a lot of shit before I started the gym and I thought, well, I'm just skinny, it just doesn't work with me, it's whatever. Obviously I was having quite a high expenditure, the freestyle stuff, you know, I was training for 3 hours a night sometimes, you know, non-stop, sweating in the rain, in the snow, everything, just in my garden with a light and a camera and a ball. And honestly, the times when I come in, it looked like I'd run a fucking marathon because the top that I was wearing, you could wring it out twice. It was disgusting. So I was eating, you know, quite shit food on top of that. Just thinking, oh, I couldn't gain weight. That was it really. So when freestyle took a bit of a back seat was about 6 months to a year into the gym, so I was still doing it. So yeah, I was transitioning from freestyle to the gym, and that took me a while. It was hard to let go of that because it'd been with me through so many years, and it was such an outlet and such a release. You know, if I've had a stressful day at work, or I was even doing it in school, if someone's fucked me off at school, I knew I could come home and I could do my football tricks and get some sort of, you know, I was putting energy into something and getting something out. And it was nice, it was good, it was rewarding. So it took me a while to kind of let go of that, and when I started realising that I couldn't do both and put 100% into both, that's when I decided to pack the freestyle in and dedicate my life to the gym, really. In the first year of training, I put on around 13 kilo, I think. And for someone who's quite a self-conscious kid, it was sick. It was nice, man. I've got I mean, the common term's a lazy eye, right? It's got an actual name. I forgot what it's called. But yeah, I've got one of them, and it, you know, it kind of held me back as a kid. I thought I wasn't going to be able to get certain things out of life because of it, and I really like fucked my confidence up, man, big time. So I was always doing a lot of squinting. I still do, to be fair, but it's had a hold on me for, well, my entire life, really, even up until now. When I first started getting a bit bigger into the gym, and you know, people were picking up on it, and I was getting that validation, that was unlike anything I've ever felt in my life, because I didn't know I could get attention. Because I'm not going to lie, we all go through a phase when you start the gym, and I was a single guy at the time, I'm not now, and you know, you start getting attention from girls, and these things start happening around you, and people are asked all of a sudden about you and your scene. That was something that was such a new concept to me, and I fucking loved it, man. I'm not gonna lie, I loved it. It brought out a new side in me that I didn't know I had. So instantly I was hooked, and I just started fucking smashing the gym. But you could argue about a half decent base for about a year and a half worth of training, and I started to see a little bit of potential. I thought, you know what, this is when the initial idea come in, but it was very quick and brief. I thought, you know what, I reckon there is a potential that I could do like a bodybuilding show. I was always looking to find the extreme on things, like with the freestyle, for example. I wanted to compete. I didn't just want to be the kid who did it in his garden. That sounds strange, but yeah, you know what I mean. I wanted to, you know, go the extra mile with things wherever it was possible. I like how that sounds. If I've got a hobby, there has to be some sort of goal within that, instead of just, I'm just going to do it, you know, I'm just going to plod on. No, I wanted something to take away from it. I didn't just want to, you know, do it. I was always looking for that next level. For me, that was, you know, the idea of competing. This is where it gets a bit rough. I'm not going to mention too much about it because there will be a larger scale video on this topic. I brought it up a few times at this point, but I can't even fucking say it, man. God. So my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 esophageal cancer in September 2022. Yeah, that obviously you can imagine. Everything just kind of switched from that point. So it just felt like a fever dream. I felt like it wasn't going to happen. So, but then you start seeing it slowly occur, and you get fucking kicked in the teeth with reality, and you start to see your worst nightmares happen in front of you. So the gym was something that I needed, because I'm not going to say I wouldn't be here without the gym, but I dread to think what the fuck my life would have looked like now if I still had one, if I didn't have the gym to put everything I fucking had into. So it was in the December of that year I inquired about online coaching and really wanted to bring that dream of, you know, going and competing on a bodybuilding stage to life. Maybe you could argue it was a bit of self-destruction, but I needed something so fucking ridiculous that seemed so far out of reach to put myself into. So I had something to focus on and to almost forget about what was happening in my life. So I signed up with Jack in January of 2023, and we built some muscle, man. We built some muscle. We got big. We got to 203. I know we skipped ahead a bit here, but we got to 203 pounds from 165 at the lowest when I signed up. This is when I started tracking weight. The lowest weight I remember seeing, it was 165 pounds. This is like the worst in my life, like the worst moment in my life. You know, I wasn't eating, and I was just going through all sorts of fucking trauma and shit, as you can imagine. So yeah, Jack kept me on my toes, to put it quite simply, and I had that fucking goal then. I had something to strive for, and one thing I did do, my dad wouldn't have been arsed either way. I promised him I was going to go on a bodybuilding stage, so I was going to make him proud, and I'm here doing it. So oh god, yeah, I'm doing it. We're 10 weeks away from fucking finishing off, man. I can't believe it. But yeah, that brings us up to now. I know it was quite a quick run through of why I started, but again, this is something I want to go over again and just relay that message that you can fucking do something if you really want it. Doesn't matter what you're going through, it fucking doesn't. I had every excuse under the sun to not bother and to just say fuck it and become a smackhead and just forget I had any sort of dreams or I wanted things out of life. I could have just forgot it all, let life have its way with me. But after seeing how quickly it can be taken away from you, I couldn't fucking take that chance, man. I was scared, so scared. I still am. And you'll see me talk about it on Instagram, man, and it's real. It's more real than what you can ever fucking imagine. Things that you think will never happen will happen. Your worst nightmares will happen one day. When I was faced with them, it changed me. So I do almost feel sorry for, you know, that version of myself, and I think I owe it to myself, to my dad, to give it my fucking best now. Like I say, we're 10 weeks away, 10 weeks away. I didn't think I'd get this far. I didn't. But here we are. I'm just fulfilling a promise, man. You know, it's me proving that my word is the most valuable thing I've got. Because if I say I'm going to do something, you better fucking believe that I'm going to do it. So that is why I got into bodybuilding. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next one.